Welcome, guys. Thanks a lot for joining this Wen TGE, sir, live stream. We start a bit late. Thanks for your patience. I'm really glad to have around the table, a virtual table, some people I particularly appreciate. I know that their inside experience will be really interesting, guys, for you to understand. The point of this session is to explain what is behind the scene when we talk about TGE, token listing, what should be done for optimizing the chance of success and reducing the risk. I'm glad to have to welcome Anvar, my friend, old friend, TDMM, market maker, Feroz, Coinstore, Harry from TG Venture. We also have Johnny, BitSmart. Welcome, Johnny.
Thanks, Laurent. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, we have all-time high. We have also Sheena, LBank. Welcome, guys. Jenite has urgency, so maybe we'll join later. Thanks to you. First of all, I will give you the mic, guys. People who are following us know that Laurent, Arthera co-founder and CEO. I do my best to bring the best of the web in Web3. We call it decentralized SaaS. We are cooking behind the scene, preparing now intensively our TGE. And welcome, Anvar. You want to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Thank you, Laurent, for setting this one up. And hi, guys. I already know someone in the crowd, but I'm going to introduce myself. So I'm the head of BD of TDMM. I started TDMM as a market maker. I started my journey in crypto in summer 2017, even earlier, and went full-time in 2019. Previously, I worked for the first fiat to crypto payment gateway, which was Indacoin. Then Indacoin in the previous bear market went out from the business, and since 1 year I joined Trado Group, and TDMM is one of the vertical under our umbrella. So today I'm gonna be much more very happy to explain how vital and crucial is to engage with the right market maker.
Thanks to you, Anvar. I was just asking myself when and where do we met in real life for the last time. It was in Turkey.
Yeah, no, it
Istanbul?
was in
Paris.
like the Paris Blockchain Week.
Yeah. So
and we met each other in Paris for the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
Paris is the place.
Welcome, Feroz.
Hey, hi everybody. Thanks a lot, Laurent, for setting this whole event up. I'm really excited to see what brings next for us. I'm Feroz. I've been a BD team lead with Coinstore last 3 years. I'm handling mostly in the Dubai and Middle East regions. I've been into crypto since 2022. Before that, I was working with a fintech, so I was a regional head there and was managing the fintechs and the payment gateways. So that actually brought me to the crypto space. Today, I'm here to learn about how the marketing and the centralized exchange could be a good fit, considering the market going on now, and more excited to know the TGE for Arthera. And of course, since I've been knowing you quite well for last 2 years, probably I'll try to bring my expertise and my assistance, all this for Arthera ecosystem. So yeah, look forward to hearing the entire event and to collaborate much smoother with all of you.
Thanks a lot, Feroz. Sheena, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here. I have also been in crypto since about 2015, 2016 or so. Certified
real
as an
OG.
anti-money laundering specialist. So yeah, a long time, right? I'm one of those Bitcoin pizza people. I don't like to tell that story though. So yeah, I've been in the space for a while, DeFi and compliance for a long time. But a couple of years ago, decided it was time to make a change and started doing BD work for LBank, which is great because I'm just a super connector. I've been through the life cycle of successful acquisitions in Web3 companies to other exchanges. So I feel like I have a lot to offer to projects that I work with on listing. Market making, so key. You were not wrong there. Every project that I work with, I'm like, guys, like make sure that you're talking to multiple market makers. Just because they're the biggest doesn't mean they're the best for you guys. So yeah, super excited to be here with everybody today and to be able to have some engaging conversations and you know, throw my insight in on listings, because there's definitely a lot that goes into it. It's not just contact and exchange, throw in some money and let's go.
Thanks to you, and welcome again, Sheena. Ari.
Thank you.
Hello. Appreciate being invited here. Been in crypto now for probably best part of 5 years, and yeah, kind of just fell in love with the technology at the start and always wanted to know where and how all these projects came to market, and just was fortunate to be positioned in front of a Canadian-based like incubator advisor and investor. Learned a lot with them, and generally in this market, when you feel like you know a bit, you tend to go off and start your own. So pretty much what I did with the business partner who wasn't able to make it today. And yeah, I've since launched a couple of projects, learned an awful lot, especially with selecting the right market maker. I think that's probably one of the most important things. And I guess now we come to the table as also project owners, rather than just, you know, an agency or advisor. So yeah, we can actively guide a project on where to spend money, where it makes sense, where it doesn't, having actually done it ourselves, and, you know, keeping in mind at the end of the day, this is a business that needs to pay for itself. So which often gets overlooked in crypto. So yeah, looking forward to definitely learning a bit about everyone, and hopefully sharing some value from our side as well. And then of course, you know, seeing how things go here.
Thanks again for joining, Ari. I'm 51, 6 months, 9 days old today. Each day, you know, I keep it, I update. And I have been contributing to build the web now since 3 decades. And time to time, I meet some people who just, you know, impressed me. And when I discussed for the first time with TGE Venture, it was wow. Finally, and it's what we try to do also, inviting people. You know, I feel we feel that there is a shared values, a vision, a strong human relation first. It's all about business, what we are doing. We run different kind of business, but doing this with trustable people, committed, genius people, it's even more exciting. So thanks again, Ari, for joining. Tex, are you there?
I'm here. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. People will not see you because your cam is off, but it's not a problem. They hear you. Axis Finance, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're an on-chain launchpad using auction-based models to help projects with their TGE. We're going on-chain first and trying to build the type of tools which are very prevalent in off-chain systems like CoinList, most prominently. And so really excited to discuss, you know, Wen TGE, because it's kind of one of the big things that we focused on with the type of tools we're building for on-chain organizations. And a little bit of background, I'm similarly kind of been around crypto for a long time, was an early Coinbase user in 2013. My background is in semiconductor engineering and was presenting a lot of white papers in the like 2015, 2016 cycle to my fellow like engineering crypto nerds. And yeah, just got really into the space in 2021 and, have stuck around ever since. So really excited to, build these on-chain tools for projects to help with capital formation on-chain.
Thanks and welcome again, Tex. Filippo, are you there?
Hey guys, how you doing? I'm fine. Finally managed to see you on camera, good sir. Laurent.
Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you, Filippo.
Hey guys, Feroz and Sheena. Harry, my man.
Doing great. I had a call earlier with Jenite and I explained how excited. I will not tell everything now, but last night I woke up, I visualized something and it's not about layer 2, layer 3 and so on. It's about a myriad, a universe of AI consuming Arthera. And I told to myself, I have to discuss this with the team, and we are in discussion with a lot of AI project, and I know we have the perfect solution for this project who want to consume a public blockchain with our native SaaS model. But after the meeting, they were a bit, skeptical, and I can understand he's again coming with a crazy idea. We know you, Laurent. And I told them, guys, listen, it's coming. I don't know when, from where, but trust me, I feel it, it's coming. And then I ended the call. I go to grab a coffee and starting my day, first meeting, I had a look to calendar. I don't know this project, what's about. I opened the website. I was 1 minute late. I jumped in the call and I had the look to the website. I said, hallelujah, life is magic. It's coming and faster than we could expect. So we will give some more details soon, but it's just great. Filippo, could you introduce yourself? We met a few months ago, and we've got a real discussion. And I'm really proud to know that you are part of Arthera journey now.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Yeah, obviously. So I'm Phil. I'm the head of growth here at Trireme. First connected with Laurent and Alvin probably 4 or 5 months ago. We've come a long way since then. Obviously, very much looking forward to deploying effectively, trading the asset with always keeping our mind frame towards a growth perspective, reducing float, getting the asset trading high, and obviously succeeding in terms of tradability and getting this asset trading as high as possible. Obviously, before we can even touch on that, this is why Trireme is coming in under the facade of Harbour at the moment, bolstering all elements with regards to the pre-market environment and making sure that everything is aligned to make sure that this launch and TGE is as strong as it can be.
Thank you. We will dive deeper in the topic in a moment. So everybody, Johnny, sorry, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Laurent. Thank you, Laurent, and hi, everyone, and thanks for having me here today. And hopefully this is the first of many. I'm Johnny, the PR manager at Bitmart. Personally, I've been in the Web3 space for around 2 years, almost 3 years, and I've always been involved in marketing at centralized exchanges. So perhaps what I'll be sharing today will be more focused on a marketing perspective. And so coming back to us, Bitmart, we're a global digital assets trading platform. And like you mentioned just before, Laurent, I think that we're all about making cryptocurrency and Web3 accessible to everyone, everywhere. Because I also truly believe that things like decentralized digital currency can reshape the global economy. And touching again on today's topic, Bitmart is actually known as the first choice for many TGE and blockchain projects. And we've been helping projects launch and thrive by providing a reliable and highly visible platform. So right now, I think it's about over 1,400 trading pairs. And so when it comes to TGE or token listings, we're more than just an exchange. We're a partner of Launchpads. So we're helping get to the right audience. And just happy to talk about today's topic, and as well as letting you guys know more about BitMart. And I'm super excited to hear all your inputs on this topic. And thank you again, Laurent, for having me today.
Thanks for joining again. So, guys, let's start. We jump in the discussion. Start with how to set up a successful TGE. And I would like, I have launched a few businesses in my life. I have advised dozens startups and big companies in my life. I have been advisor of several Web3 projects and one of the leading blockchain. But for me personally, it's the first time I will list a token. I'm a newbie and discovering the everything happening behind the scene. And I think I would like to invite you, each one, to share what, in your opinion, we can consider a successful TGE. Is it just talking about the listing and what will happen in the next few days, or is it more about the long run? We have seen so many projects pumping and then going to zero, to not say most of the token. How the token launch can contribute to the long-term project sustainability and growth? Who want to share some inside input regarding how to set up a successful TG? Who want to start?
I'll start.
Gone.
I think that for me, a successful token launch is not 100x, right? I mean, that is clearly successful, but that's not the only successful launch. Successful token listing is one that the token lists and then can grow community and continue to list on other exchanges. Volume slowly increasing. I mean, the volume jump from 0 to 100x is great, but those are typically rug pulls. Those are typically not great projects because they usually go up and then they come right back down. The exchange that you list on can have a lot to do with that. It's very important to make sure that the exchange that you're choosing is in the regions that you want. And that if you've given any of your native token for token listing, that there's some kind of security on the projects for actual listing, that the exchange is not going to just dump token and cause token to go down. So I think successful launch for me is the projects working together with the exchanges. If you can get launched on multiple exchanges, that's success to me, because there's more than one exchange that's interested in listing, and you've also managed to get the funds to list on all of those exchanges. Anybody that knows about listing knows that it's not a cheap process. So if you can do it on multiples, that's success for me.
Yeah.
Max?
I would love to add something here to Sheena. First of all, I think definitely launching on exchanges, multiple exchanges is successful, but I'm bringing up some concerns from a few.
We lost you, Max.
And, every time I name them,
Max?
you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Again? Yeah, again.
Yeah, I don't know. My connection says it's 10, but it seems like it's 5. But yeah, no, I wanted to say that I've been recently speaking with a few communities, and they consider a centralized exchange listings as an extra liquidity for the project. They see that sometimes as a bad part of the project, and actually benefit of reaching out more audience. So I think it really depends when it comes to centralized exchange listings. It really depends on it stage by stage. First of all, I agree with you. It's very expensive. That's understandable. Many times I've seen centralized exchanges taking advantage of the token allocation they got and dumping heavily on the project, and obviously that's not help. But yeah, I think from a community perspective, what I've seen so far is that centralized exchange listing is not always a good input, and they see it as a little bit of a concern, because obviously you cannot track online, you cannot track on chain essentially the transactions. There are many dodgy situations that happened in the past where the token launched on tier one centralized exchanges, and then you see the Burj Khalifa chart pump and dump situation where the community essentially not ragged, but they kind of got obviously they lost credibility in the project, right? So that's my input. But yeah, that's just reference on centralized exchange listing, not just talking about the TGE successful listing, which is very important, I think, on exchanges.
Thank you, Max. Anvar, in a market maker perspective, what do you consider?
No,
And then I will give the mic to Filippo. What is what we could call a successful TG?
Well, first of all, I agree with Sheena, I agree with Max. And of course, whenever you, to what just said Max, whenever you decide to pick up the CEX, of course, we know that like something can happen, especially when the exchange asks you for a token allocation. They play it around, and sometimes it happens. So we as a market maker, we try to act as a consultant. And we always say, if you have a deal like 50-50 or like 70-30 USDT tokens, always go for USDT. So you kind of hedge yourself against any move.
Sorry, Anvar. Maybe we have to explain to people because they don't know. Okay, that you can't just knock to the door. Okay, going from centralized exchange to centralized exchange, saying, "Hey guys, I'm Laurent. I'm really sympathetic guy. I have a token. Could you please list my token?"
No, of course. Whenever you want to be, whenever you want to be listed on a centralized exchange, you're going to have a listing fee, and of course, the listing fee can be paid either in USDT or it can be split in USDT plus tokens. And usually, what we say, go for the USDT. On the other side, it's very important to be educated, because to spend a big amount of money on a listing fee, it doesn't make much sense if you don't build the community, if you don't build traction, if you don't attract the trading community. So we, as a market maker, usually whenever we have an intro call, we say, listen, we're gonna hit the right metrics. You don't need to go for like the bigger exchange. You don't need to spend like lots of money. You have to build the story organically. And then whenever the right metrics are hit, you can go back to the big guys, and then you can strike a better deal. This is in the best case scenario. Another thing that we say is that we believe that market making is the most delicate engagement that you're going to have in your roadmap. Is the most important partner that you can engage with. So education is very important, and many projects, no matter what, they don't even know the difference between different market makers. They look only at the brand. They don't know how to execute. They don't know the real difference between a retainer based model and a loan option model. They don't consider liquidity, and especially the most important thing that they don't look at, it's how a market maker will be operating in let's say in a mid-term, short-term frame, and of course long-term, because it's very important what we do. It's first thing that we check is the tokenomics. Tokenomics is very important. A token advisor, we study the unlocks, we study everything, because the market maker has to be synchronized with the tokenomics, and as well as, of course, he's going to be synchronized with the marketing team, with the third party providing marketing. So everything has to be done in a way, as Sheena said, whenever you hit not 100x, because of course it's going to be a great launch, but even at 30x, 20x, everything then has to sustain organically. Yep. Of course, you're going to have like a sell-off, of course, but the sell-off has to be 30%, 40%, not 95% in 3-6 months. So that's education. To prepare TGE, it's key in order to literally strike the right market maker, not the biggest brand or someone that is like, I've been in the market for long, but the partner that is fully aligned with the vision of the company, but an understanding of what the company is doing. So that's like a general view. Then if you want to get more detailed, we're gonna stay here for another hour. I'm gonna talk by myself.
Thank you.
Just drop your Calendly link. People can just set up calls with you from there.
Yeah, but at least, I mean, I do it for this is my work, but at least I can do it as a casual conversation. So
Yeah.
you highlight a really important point, Anvar, and it's part of my personal learning process. I understood that it's all about building, the top level team. It's not just talking to CEXs and having a deal with them, talking with market makers and choosing one or Launchpad or a partner for managing your marketing. It's all about setting things properly, where it's smooth relation. It's all having a common goal and implementing everything needed to let the magic happens. Filippo, what is a successful TGE for you?
Well, I mean, I kind of do agree with Sheena. It's not necessarily in the multiples. That's kind of like a vanity metric. It's not really going to sustain. If you look at a lot of the 50, 100x launches from the last cycle, they're now complete derelicts and they're in the dumper, right? So really, there's three main core elements that need to be considered to describe a successful launch. The first element is probably you should look at community, right? So you look at, first and foremost, what kind of tractions that have, what kind of demand metrics does a project present? That kind of ties into on the trading side, but also because crypto lacks fundamental kind of evaluation metrics, really, when you think about it. So community in and of itself, if tracked and defined well, is a good principle to, towards a good launch. Second one is tokenomics. So always looking about, ensuring that the free float isn't too high on day one, still incentivizing VCs and investors to come in and, get the multiple on their asset, because obviously that's the core objective. We need them. And more importantly, it is a dedicated selection of the trading venues. There are exchanges and exchanges out there of all sorts, right? So it's ensuring that the listing fees are reasonable. If you're paying an exchange 100K USD in tokens at a 10x multiple, that's $1 million in sell pressure, which the MM needs to find a way to absorb. So, these are all elements that need to be factored in. Another really important element is having, touching on what Anvar was saying, an aligned trading partner that understands, maps out the full suite of catalyst events in the roadmap for the project, understands what custom fit trading plan or MM plan is applied to that particular market, and ensuring that the trading partner is incentivized in the right way, however, in a shared success, shared growth model. That is the core element. Again, to touch on Anvar's point, there's no, we could go deep into this. There's not much point in doing that, but those are the, I guess, 4 core elements to consider going into a launch.
I think you muted yourself.
Sorry, guys. As a founder, in a founder perspective, it's a real challenge when you discover how many different people you have to satisfy. It can be a real mess. Saying, yes, you need some investors, business angel, private investors, VCs. You have also, if you decide to make a public sale, you collaborate with a Launchpad or a platform like Axis Finance. It should also be profitable for them. Then you have the community members, you have the project, you have the validators when it comes to a layer 1. For the centralized exchange, the same. Okay, you prefer listing valuable, sustainable project than, you know, okay, a quick win, I list a project, but I'm not sure if I will not delist in 6 months. So, and market maker, it's the same. So it's really a top level alchemy to set. And I'm really glad, guys, to have you there. Juno, feel free. You are there. Feroz should move. Juno, do you hear us from Coinstore? Feel free at any time to give a sign. Tex, could you share with us your vision of what is a successful TGE?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of the points made so far have been really excellent, since, you know, a centralized exchange listing is critical for, you know, any large scale project to have success for their token. And so, you know, a lot of the concerns that you see around centralized exchange listings, market making, is, you know, how do you make your TGE sexy? And with Axis, we're trying to make it Dexy a little bit. So really what we like to focus on is kind of on-chain liquidity, making sure that if you're actually running on-chain incentives, that, you know, you're not actually inflating your token supply by a large amount. I think top tier market makers have this concern top of mind. But for on-chain communities, a lot of times, you know, people kind of get a little fast and loose with incentives. So for TGE, generally what we look at is, you know, how can we get the largest amount of tokens out in circulating supply while also leaving firepower across the project's life cycle. So, you know, 3-5 years out in the future, you really want to plan these emissions to make sure that you actually grow the project in the long term. And bringing, you know, aligned exchanges, market makers is a huge part of that. But a lot of times, you know, on-chain communities, they want to interact with the token on-chain. So that's where we come in. And the Launchpad that we've designed has a really cool feature where basically you can run an auction and use all of the proceeds from the auction to directly pair with your token on any decentralized exchange. So it's, you know, as soon as the auction settles, you can have, you know, liquidity on Uniswap, Balancer, like really any type of DEX that's out there. That's how we kind of approach doing a token launch on chain and kind of making TGE a little bit more DEXy.
Thank you, Max. You have something to add? Thank you, Tex.
Yeah, I think obviously what you guys just discussed on the points that you mentioned are definitely important. I would like to add more something on the community side, and which is essentially the user base, right? So I think all the TGEs that did well this year, they've been focusing a lot on building a real and stable community. Obviously, incentivizing the community with airdrops, for example, which has been a big player this year, was a good input for attracting users. But then, how many of these actually users are staying for the long term and using the product, or being still active in the community in a second stage when TGE happens? So I think it's definitely a mix of market making, listings. That's obviously important things on the community side, and user acquisition. I would say that projects that are coming out with the TG, that would be one of the main points to focus on initially. So building a great product, building the great community, which will not just follow you for the incentives that you give them initially, but they there to support you in a second stage when the product is actually live and they ideally use the product, or they are building, for example, whatever is in this case the product. So yeah, I will definitely focus my TG in the first stage on building awareness, getting the community there, bring value to the community in a stable way, not just with quick rewards, and then everyone is out moving to the next step. So, that's why I consider will help a successful TG. And then obviously the points that you mentioned, all of them are very, very important. And that's kind of my thoughts on a marketing side, especially community is what matters for any project out there.
Thank you, Max. Ari, I would like to get your feedback also as an investor a point of view and a marketing partner point of view, and also to introduce the next question, which risk and mistake to avoid. I used to say it's all about minimizing the risk to optimize the chance of success. So could you share with us some feedback based on your experience?
Yeah, sure. But I'd say for me, I mean, it might not be the most attractive thing to say, but bottom line, what's going to measure the success? The reality is how much money you're going to make. Because from a project standpoint, it's going to cost you a decent chunk of change in order to get to market. And you have to realize that from somewhere. And generally that is going to be on the listing. So yeah, from a project standpoint, that has to be at least a break-even activity or something that you can make profitable to be able to reinvest, scale and grow further. Likewise, from an investor standpoint, as much as we love supporting entrepreneurs, we don't do it for the good of our health. We do it because ideally we get a decent return as well. And likewise, all the Launchpad investors, general community, they're not here for their good of the health either. So if we can provide a platform, provide a token ecosystem that gives them a return on their money, then they're happy. And in my opinion, that is probably quite an easy way to determine whether it's successful or not. Not disagreeing with what everyone else has said. I think there's plenty of other narratives that play their part, but I'd say not something that should definitely be overlooked, even though it might not be the done thing to voice, so to speak. So yeah, that would be my perspective on defining success. In terms of mitigating risks and things like that, I suppose I can only really comment based off of prior experience. And the reality is our biggest mistake with a launch was choosing the wrong market maker and just being unaware of exactly how they engage and where their upside resides. And so, now obviously us as a company that works with multiple projects, multiple launches, we do only work with Trireme, who in my opinion are, best in the business. Shout out to Filippo. So yeah, my understanding is that you guys are also working with them, which obviously gives us great confidence. So I think you're mitigating a huge risk there by working with a trusted partner, and also a partner who is smashing it in the industry today, which I think in crypto is quite important because, it works off of trends, and these guys are killing it today. They might not forever, probably will, but they might not. But for now, it's working. So yeah, I think you've done well to work with them. So yeah, that would be my thing. But I think biggest thing is choosing the right market maker.
Thanks, Ari. I totally agree. And it's we have seen this many times. Some people have been on, kind of we have deified some people in this industry without taking care about the reality behind the facade. I could talk about my personal experience with Alameda Research. I said immediately that it was a scam. At this time, everybody around was telling me, Laurent, you don't understand, they are genius, blah, blah, blah. One meeting, few minutes, I understood. Okay.
Well, they were genius. There was genius there, clearly, because they managed to dupe an entire entire community of people who thought they were really, really smart. So genius was there.
I agree, but it's not the kind of
no,
stuff
not what we want.
You know, I used to stay away. I prefer to lose an opportunity than to compromise myself
Yeah.
in a way. You know, one more time, when you have some background in the web industry, when people try to convince you that Web3 is different, we say, guys, I have listened this so many times. It has been the same. We have seen this during the internet bubble and later with the SaaS, and so many times, new trend and so on, and some startup raising a lot of money, becoming like this, a unicorn.
Mhm.
Most of them are dead. You know, they spend a lot of money organizing, going from event to event to event, organizing after parties, spending a lot in marketing, not being focused on what really matter, building a profitable, sustainable business. Everything we do in Web3, it's all about business. And
Mhm.
so I understand that a lot of people are here for some speculation, financial opportunities. Okay, great, but don't be naive. There is things that will last, and most of the thing we consider being the top today will not be there in few years. People forget that before Google, the main big search engine was Lycos, you know, and we have some Lycos actually in Web3, some top blockchain. Trust me, you will see at the moment anybody face the business reality. And there is two situation. You are profitable or you are not.
Yep.
End of the game.
Yep.
That's it. Juno, I gave you the mic, or Juno is out again. I would like, guys, if you have something more to add to what are the common mistake you have seen.
I would. I
Yeah.
want to actually add to this because there's one mistake that I have seen people do over the 2 years that I've been doing this. And this is just listings, right? If we could go into mistakes prior to even getting to listing, that is a whole nother show. Maybe we should do that one. But for TGE listings, the worst thing that you can do is wait until a week before your launch date and decide to engage exchanges and market makers. I'm telling you, you are setting yourself up to fail and a nightmare. You're going to be pressed. You're going to have the exchanges pressuring you to list. You're going to have your market makers pressuring you to sign contracts. And all you're thinking about is, oh my God, my launch date is in 1 week. What's the right thing to do? That's the biggest mistake you can make. If your TGE is in December, by June, you should already have out exactly which market makers you want to talk to, which exchanges you want to talk to. And at least 3 months before your TGE, you should have those contracts signed and those people in place. You should not be doing this a month or 2 weeks before your actual listing date, because I promise you, you're going to make tons of mistakes. People are going to pressure you into doing things that you don't really want to do because you're already under pressure. And people like to capitalize on people feeling under pressure. So don't do it. Give yourself plenty of time. All of these exchanges offer marketing with every single one of their listing packages. All of these projects that are contacting a week before, how are you going to get 500,000 impressions on social media in a week? You're not. How are you going to get 5 Q&As done in a week? You're not. The exchanges are totally expecting you to not have the time and not remember. And then now they've been let off on half of their listing marketing things because you forgot your listing's already done. You're thinking, okay, I'm over that part. And you're not thinking about all the stuff that you've lost out on in the meantime. So if you give yourself plenty of time, you don't run into these problems. So 3 to 6 months, guys.
Thanks, Sheena. So
Totally
really,
agree.
thanks, Max. Thanks for joining, and let's talk soon. Guys, let's talk about a bit about market condition. We initially planned to make our TGE earlier this year, and I started to discuss with several market maker and partners and Launchpad and saying, after Bitcoin halving, it will be, like any member, anyone in the crypto community thinking, yeah, it's to the moon, and most of them told me, no way, it's not the good time. Thank you, Harry. It was a pleasure. And saying, why, and like if they've got a crystal ball telling, no, listen, we will have some kind of contrariant moment. And it's also things you have to consider, because we have seen some project forcing the listing, and then 90% done. Then it's hard to re-engage the community. It's hard if you're a blockchain, hard to re-engage project to join. So it's not just deciding, okay, you wake up on one day and say, okay, today let's get listed. It's a long process.
Yeah. You can't just list your token because you're trying to make some money, and that's what a lot of projects do. A lot of projects hit like a standstill, right? And they're like, okay, well, our community is not really growing anymore. We can't really get any VC money. We need devs. We need this. We need that. If we list our token, then that's going to make all the difference in the world. And I mean, it might, but the likelihood of it is that it's not. LBank has 10 million users, right? Just because you list on LBank, yeah, you're going to get access to all of those 10 million users. But unless you're doing some marketing for yourself, unless you're marketing your own company, unless you're doing things to get your project out there, our 10 million users aren't going to know about it just because your token is listed on an exchange. Projects have to be responsible for their own marketing and responsible for the success of their own token. Market makers, exchanges were tools. Those tools are useless if you don't put your hands on them and use them the right way.
I totally agree. Anvar, Filippo, what about market condition?
I mean, I would like to add to what said Sheena. I mean, at the end of the day, she is 100% correct, because we are tools, and the tools has to be addressed properly. And of course, I mean, like I always say that your token is your brand, is your biggest brand. You can have the shiniest technology, like the biggest community, but if the token doesn't perform, you will not receive liquidity. So, of course, market condition, it's crucial. We have to analyze, and we do analyze all the activities, the market sentiment in general, and it happens that sometimes, without even being fully involved as a partner in terms of an investment, whatever it is, but simple as a service provider, we can advise to push it back, to hold it back, to launch a project. In fact, now we're expecting Q4 if the rate cut will happen in September. So we're expecting end of Q4 to have several projects to launch the token TGE. But market condition is essential, because once liquidity is not in the market and the project, of course, you have like several projects that they had like a great fundraise, they're liquid, but still like previous TGEs of big tokens that we were expecting, they're not performing. No one is performing. So whenever
I can share my screen without giving some names, and we have seen some raising 400 millions, and the token after a few months it's 90% down. And who is paying the cost? The community first.
Exactly.
See, because look, people think market condition, and they think that market condition directly correlates to market prices being up versus market prices being down, and that's not true. The market condition could be great in an area where the numbers are down. If people are trading, regardless of numbers being high or low, that's good market condition. If you've got a lot of activity on all these different tokens, that's good market condition. So a lot of these projects, what they look at is Bitcoin price, right? Oh, well, Bitcoin's high. Now I want to launch my token. But guess what? You missed it, because you should have launched before Bitcoin went up. That's the key point, not when you're already up here. You want to get in before. And so you do have to sometimes absorb a little bit of what people consider a negative market condition where, you know, token prices are a little lower, so that you can get that higher mark. If you come in and everything's already at 10, you're not going to get it to 20. You might get it to 12. Now, had you come in at 5, then you could get it to 10. So that's why your market makers are so important. It's important that you're with someone that understands like the fluctuations of the market, and high Bitcoin doesn't always mean good market. Low Bitcoin doesn't mean bad market. Like, it's important to remember that.
Yeah, it's really important to mention this. Thanks a lot, Filippo.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think there's a few elements to consider. So on top of the obviously community tokenomics and listing venues, one core element is macro conditions always need to be considered. That always affects open demand projections. In addition to that, it's important to look at monthly returns, average monthly returns over the last 12 months or last 5 years for BTC. So for instance, if you look at monthly returns last year for, let's say, a project that wanted to launch in September. August is historically not a bad, like it's not an effective moment in time to launch, because obviously institutions are away on holiday. But it's about seeing if you can draw a parallel between a Q4 from a previous cycle, or looking at the price action from BTC from last year or over the last 5 years, and building an estimation on what the potential environment might look like. One of the most important things is, yes, to have community, have the tokenomics ready, and also having the listing venues ready. However, it is also a question of being ready to pull the trigger at the right time, because these pockets of liquidity come and go, and listings are all about timing. So it is ultimately important to consider all those factors. So macro price of BTC, while it does not necessarily affect the alts, indirectly it does. And then finding an optimal pocket of capital or liquidity to list the asset in.
Thank you, Filippo. I will share my personal point of view. I have learned a lot last few months, starting to launch this process, and discussing with you guys and some of our partners. And I want to introduce the next question. I have been launching myself several startups, advising dozens startups, and we were talking about go-to-market strategy. And when you have a product, your go-to-market strategy is how you will get your first customers, and and then scale. And I have discovered when we talk about go-to-market strategy, in a crypto world, it's all about the token mostly. You forget, or you put on the side the real business model. I would like to get your honest point of view, guys. Why we are constantly talking about go-to-market from VCs, Launchpad. Everybody is asking to project to share their go-to-market strategy. The first form I submitted, I was focused on business, and they came back to me saying, no, about the token. So please help me to better understand. I'm eager to learn always, and explain also to our community what does it mean and why this really matters. I heard a few times your best marketing tool will be your token chart. I wasn't ready to hear such thing, but now I understand, because some people like you shared with me their insight, their point of view. So we want to talk about this go-to-market strategy being so crucial for TGE. Who want to start, guys?
I will. I'll start.
Okay,
nobody else wants to start. So I think that tokens are so huge for TGE. Like, honestly, let's just keep it real. It's because that's how everybody gets their money back. It's how your VCs get their money back. It's how your community can engage with the project. I mean, everybody wants to, and like, this is going to sound bad, everybody wants to think that their community is engaged with them because they've got this great ecosystem and this great product that is going to change the industry. But honestly, a lot of times communities only engage with a project because they see potential in the token, in the tokenomics, to be able to make some money. For them to really be a part of the ecosystem means that they have to actually utilize the token inside of the ecosystem the way that it's meant to be used. And that goes way beyond trading on a CEX or a DEX. That's got nothing to do with the token doing well in the ecosystem. So communities are really excited about token launches because they're like, yo, this is, we can get back the money from our pre-sale here. Your VCs are like, yeah, this is where we can make some money, and then we can see if the product is actually really that good. That, I mean, my opinion, that's what I've seen just in the last couple of years, because I'm very focused on listing and communities, right? And it's a sentiment that has been um, echoed across platforms on everyone. Like, very rarely are they really excited about the product. They're more excited about the potential of the token.
As a founder, it's something we have to assume that the token is the most important product at the moment when it comes to TGE. I totally agree, and this should be explained more, in my opinion, because a lot of people don't understand. Again, that's how it's really important. Johnny from Bitmart, do you want to share with you your insight, your point of view?
Yeah, absolutely, Laurent. And I personally think that moving from a successful TGE to, say, a thriving project is actually where the real challenge actually begins. And this is why having a well-thought GTM strategy is absolutely crucial. So one of the actual, for me, the biggest challenge post TGE is scaling. So this just doesn't just mean growing your user base. It's also about ensuring your infrastructure, customer support, and how you communicate your token's value to all of your users, and also a lot more factors. Also for me, things like user adoption is also another critical aspect. So it's just not enough just to have a successful TGE, which is measured by, say, numbers. You actually need to have users who find real value in your token. So finding utility on behalf of these users can actually help them keep them engaged. And all in all, I think what I'm trying to say is that perhaps the most challenging part of all of this is to establish a long-term value for the token on the user side. And as you all know, perhaps in today's market, like meme coins and rug pull projects that you guys mentioned, often overshadow genuine innovation or good projects. And this actually makes maintaining long-term value tough, but it's still a very necessary task. And I think this is even more true for me from a personal perspective. So from a marketing perspective, how to communicate all of this to all the users. And this is where marketing and communication strategies plays an important role. So being transparent and maintaining strong community ties and user bases are vital. So you need to communicate not just what your project does today, but where it's heading tomorrow, and actually make the users believe it. So I think in conclusion, any good TGM strategy should be more than just a successful launch. It's more about building the foundation for your token's future.
Yeah.
Thanks, Laurent.
Thanks to you. Johnny, who wants to add some words?
No, I also would like to add to what just Jimmy said. Scaling is very important, but also retention is equally important, because you can scale, but then if people drop your project, then I mean, of course, the business is not sustainable. And Laurent, to what you said at the very beginning, how we evaluate projects is also, of course, we have an ecosystem, the project, and the token has to be seen as a financial instrument. And we also evaluate the token design, how you retain the user, because the user can arrive, and of course, if he's not rewarded in a proper manner, he will be finding another ecosystem, another project. So the retention is very important in order to make it sustainable. So this is another point that I wanted to add.
It's real. I used to say, it's not only token are highly volatile, but users are even more volatile. We have seen, you know, moving from one to one in just, you know, you are right. It's a real challenge as a founder to not only explain what we are building right now, but also sharing the long-term vision, because we are in even more in crypto world. Really, you know, 1 minute chart for me it means everything, and for some 1 minute it's too long. How do you engage people to contribute, to join, to trust in the long run? This is a real massive challenge, but it's also part of any Web3 founder journey, understanding that you can be dedicated to build a really amazing product, but you also have to understand that the token is fully part of this, and not just something added, you know, or external to the project. It's the part of the core product. And I really thanks again, guys. I learn a lot. I like to have your feedback, being able to have several point of view. Juno, I don't know if now you are able to share your insight with us. We don't hear you. Filippo, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, go on. I can add something here. I think going back to the one of the original points that you mentioned here, Laurent, which was the value of the GTM compared to, and like its indirect effect on token performance. Again, that's important from an MM standpoint on how the MM operates. But in reality, if you get an asset that is performing naturally from a founder perspective, I mean, VCs are happy, the founder's happy, the MM's happy, the community's happy, right? Because one, obviously, any crypto project or any Web3 businesses, a lot of the USD value is actually locked in your tokens, right? So if you get an asset that's performing, the treasury value, which is mainly composed of these assets, also appreciates in dollar-denominated terms. But if you get good price action, you get higher highs as you go, or lower highs, then you can build, you know, a good chart. It's the best marketing tool because it also converts into a user acquisition vehicle. Because crypto, like it or not, you could have the best tech. It is still a user, you know, it's still a speculation-driven market. Therefore, you know, price it will enhance your narrative, right? Price action dictates narrative, and not the other way around in this space. So I just wanted to add that point there.
Thank you, Filippo. We are close to end this streaming live session. Thank you, guys. You would like to each one add the last word? I would like to engage you to answer to this basic question. Wen TGE, sir, if you have to advise a project who aim to launch its token, what would you answer? Each one, I invite you to answer and explain why. It could be the moment, or maybe later. Please share with us your point of view freely. Who want to start? Anvar.
Jeez, I guess I'll start again since nobody wants to start. We're in a room full of non-starters here. What is going on today?
Yeah, Sheena, you lead. Thank you.
Yes.
You are a real OG.
Yeah. For me, Wen TGE that's going to depend on each project. I mean, I would say starting next month, September, October, those are good times, right? Everybody's wanting to wait for these, you know, political things that are going on in the US. Again, like I said, it's better to be early to the party than late in crypto. I think the end of this year is looking good, but we'll see. I think it's just important for every project to look at their community, talk to their market makers, talk to their VCs, and just get a lot of different opinions. And then as its founder, decide for yourself when you think is best for your project, because ultimately the only one that loses in this is if it fails is you. So it's got to be your choice, and make sure that it's very well informed by asking everybody in your circle, hey guys, when do you think would be best for the token launch? And you'll get your, CEXs. It'll be like, yeah, let's list now, it's going to be great. But it might not be. Your market maker might be like, hang on guys, let's wait a month. And your VCs might be like, I think we need to wait a couple of months. And then you as an owner are like, okay, so now everybody's giving me 3 different opinions. What do I do? I would look at history, look at how Bitcoin has performed over the last few years, especially this time of year. It's pretty common. There's cycles that happen, and we're in a cycle. This is history, again, historical. This will come out. So it's better to be on the other side. I think, a couple of months. I think the market's going to be great. No, but it's going to be better than what it is. Might be a good time for a token launch if what you're trying to do is get your product out to market. But if you're waiting for, I don't know, some big great turn, who knows? You could say January, but then you wait for January and Bitcoin takes a dump. So I don't know. When TGE, when it's great for your project, when you've decided that it's best for the sustainability of your project, not for the immediate financial gain. Because sustainability is what's really important here, to make sure that your project not only launches, but that it's still around in 3 or 4 years, because that's the goal. So when TGE, when it's sustainably correct for your project.
Thanks a lot. You mentioned something. I used to say it's a collective decision. You have to discuss with all people involved in the process, and trying to find the more convenient setup. One more time, trying to reduce the risk. There is no zero risk, in order to optimize your chance of success. Filippo, in your opinion, when TGE, sir?
Yeah.
Well, can you tell me? I'm in a hurry.
Well, we can't rush it though, Laurent. So, I mean, look, what I can tell you is what we're telling everyone else, which is, we're delaying all launches in August. We'll just assess what broader macro and some of the major players in the space are doing towards mid to late September. But historically, October has been a good time more broadly. And that should be, that gives us a bit of time and a bit of bullishness or upturn leading into the elections. So, that is a major factor. So we would be expecting something, look, if we get a cataclysmic move or an asymmetric move in mid-September, then we'll go then. And there's good liquidity to sustain it. Alternatively, we will be shifting towards a more October outlook.
Thank you, Filippo.
That's when TGE is, so.
So that's when TGE, October. Got it.
Well, when TGE, I agree. Well, what I can say, and I've totally agree with Sheena and Filippo, because Sheena mentioned that BTC has a cycle. Filippo says that we also have to coordinate with the current macro conditions. What we're looking at, other than BTC, is also a liquidity cycle. So we believe that if, as Jerome Powell hinted us that he's gonna cut the rates in September, the 18th of September. Who's going to Singapore, by the way, in the brackets? Maybe we can see each other, all of them.
Not sure yet.
Yeah, so we're gonna wait until the 18th, and we're gonna follow very closely. Then, if that happened, with the election year happening in the US, that will the Q4 2024 can be a very good time frame to launch a token. So October, November, December, that will be a good.
Do not wait for the elections in the United States. I don't know what is going on with the crypto community.
I didn't say elections. I'm talking about the cut rate. So of course,
okay.
18th of September is the day. Jerome Powell said that they're gonna cut the rates. He anticipated, so that would be a big one of one of big factors that you should consider.
Thank you, guys. Guys, I hope you've got some interesting point of view inside. We tried also to share what's happening behind the scene. It's not just you ask Wen TGE, sir, and we say let's do it. It's a complex process. I hope you have understood. It's all about involving several people, companies in this process. You don't do it alone, and trying the one with whom you feel confident, the human relation, because it's easy. Things are easily going well when everything is going well, but you when you face the reality and having some trouble, here you can estimate, define the real value of the relation. So it's also all about trust, and in this crypto world, it's not easy decision. We have seen so many times, and some trustable people at the end of the day were not so trustable that we could expect far away. I will not give any name, but we have seen this many times. We used to say when we talk about blockchain, don't trust, verify, but we haven't find yet a solution to be able to verify, the people trustability. So it's all about also following your intuition and asking to people you trust to make the introduction. Then spending some time to discuss. Sheena, we are in discussion since a months now, and it's also a way.
Years now.
Yeah, exact. Yeah, but it's a way
but
to.
Look, it's when it's right for you guys, and you need to work with people that understand that. It's not about when I want you to list, because I wanted you to list a year and a half ago. It's about when it's right for you guys. So I'm here.
Exactly. and you know that I used to tell that the best way to improve people, to test people, it's time.
Make them wait.
because you have some people, they are in a hurry, and if things are not happening quickly, boom, they move away, and you have the one who are still there. Try to understand what you are building. Try to share valuable input. Accept to join, to have such a discussion. So thanks to you. Thanks to you guys, you have been more than 200 watching this live stream live just on Twitter. We don't have the real-time numbers for Facebook and LinkedIn. We will reshare this recorded stream. I hope it has been valuable. Behind a few words, I'm sure you've got some insight for Wen TGE. And let's keep building. Let's keep preparing this to be as fully ready as we can for the D-Day. Thanks to you guys. It has been a pleasure. Sheena, Filippo, Juno, Feroz, Max, all. I hope I miss nobody. No, Tex also, Johnny. Thanks a lot. It was a pleasure. And let's catch up again soon to talk about a different topic. See you soon, guys.
Thank you, Laurent.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you, Laurent. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.